So we're back to a little guitar after we did a little private maritime emergency, private maritime into the public maritime, emerging, merging the two together. So, you know. Now my neck, that was what we call mixing keys together. You know, and I know a lot of the well, I know all the patterns, and so I can mix them all. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is kind of cool. I'm getting more into just mixing patterns and just changing keys on the spot. It's this pattern right here. Which is the Sound of Music pattern. So when I'm in the particular pattern, that's just one of the 7 patterns. Each pattern as you go up the neck is a little different. But as I'm playing those patterns, just use a different pattern that's out of key. Like this, for instance. I can play this. We just changed the pattern. That just changed the pattern. Whenever I play it, whenever a note is played that's outside the pattern, it's an automatic key change. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, there's probably some nice, smooth relationships between these patterns. And some patterns will sound more pleasing than others. Others will sound more unpleasing. And the unpleasing ones they call in music dissonance. I guess the pleasing ones would be called resonance. Because it's just kind of known in humanity that when we reason together. Okay, so I'm thinking to myself, if I play this, the number one box, we call it, and let's say I move up one fret and then play the four box. 4, 5, 6, 7. One box. Move up a fret, play a four box. In other words, that'd be different moods. The number one box, I could just call the one chord, just play the first note, and then decorate it with all the keys in that box, or all the notes in that box. And then move up one fret and just call it a four box. Play all the notes in the four box. Go back to the one box in a different key. Do a four box, one fret, or do a three box now, one fret lower. Just play around with them that way and get used to them. So, I've fiddled around with them here and there, and I've noticed some really wonderful, satisfying sounds. Something out of the ordinary. I guess that would be called getting myself out of the box, of the ordinary box. For some reason, I think that this intertwining with the keys might be the key, or might be the explanation as to how to create different moods that they create in these Hollywood movies when they score the movie with music. It causes certain emotions to arise as we watch the movie. Suspenseful scenes, happy scenes, dumbfounded scenes, all the different human emotions that there are. Hollywood pretty much is able to score the mood, so to speak. Now, how much of that is actual reality, or how much of it is actual through repetition? Humans have been programmed to react this way. Well, Yeah, you see? That's what we call the outside influence, influencing the inner man, causing the inner man to feel emotionals, feel certain emotions, and to think certain thoughts. It's kind of like this, if all you do is watch pornography all day, right? It'll start to seem that all your thoughts are filled up with pornography. Everything's, poor and eggnoggic. Everything's poor and ready for Christmas, and there's nothing to purchase presents with. Poor eggnogger. There's nothing left in the egg sack, so to speak. Pornography. As we study the word pornography, eggnog, holidays, Christmas time holiday, poor, no money, poor, don't need money. And those are just definitions too. The word poor, the word nog, the word graphy, the word fee, pornography. Anyone could write any dictionary. In the international law, universal law, natural law arenas, folks, each individual has the power to create a self-dictionary. Not only to write it down, but to change the words up and not to have to write anything down, just say this word means this in this moment, and not even have to explain it. We just manifest that it is. Although we use a certain word that might be considered in society as, oh, blasphemy! Oh, you shouldn't say that. That's PG-13. It's rated R. It's rated X. But, people think that way because they've been programmed to think that way. And a lot of the programming has been under the control in the churches. And then most of the people in the churches making these rules up, they don't follow them anyway. They go ahead and they do all kinds of different things that the average individual, if they found out what was going on in the churches, they'd be like, you call that blasphemy? Yet you go ahead and you do it? And you call it enjoyment? You've been caught enjoying yourself? Some of these priests get caught enjoying themselves, whether they're male and female, enjoying themselves with all kinds of different human relationships and material relationships, whether we call it pornography, pedophilia, hoarding, materialisticism, moneyism, greedy, you name it. The things that are preached in the church in order to obtain some type of control over society. The ones in the church making the rules don't even follow the rules, and they're doing their own little thing behind closed doors. And when they get caught, it's kind of like everyone starts asking questions. Well, what's really been going on in this corporate world? And that's where we're at in today's society, with examining the deep state and the inner child. But I'm here to bring more of a cushion to the blow, so to speak, a cushion to the shock, the explosive shock blow, and say, there's really nothing to get shocked of, because we're all have thoughts enter the brain, and we all commit different acts behind closed doors that we don't want anyone else to see. Maybe they're at different bad and good levels, but we all hide stuff, and we're all a detriment to ourselves. So I'm here to say, let's look at this as a more balanced approach instead of blaming other people and getting mad at other people. for what we would be considered as, oh, they did something much more horrible than what we could ever do. But I'm here to say that the most horrible thought that they acted upon, a lot of people, those thoughts enter into the brain, whether they can stop it or not. Thoughts are always entering into the brain all the time. So someone, let's say, for example, someone has a pedophilic thought in their mind, okay? Just for the fact that the thought showed up in the brain, there's I guess a reason to proclaim guilt. We're all guilty of lust, said Jesus, the fictional Jesus story. Remember, the Jesus story is just an idea representing the things that have been obtained in life or can be obtained. It's all the Jesus story represents. And the Jesus also represents, obtaining the astrological eternal life through the pineal gland, the kundalini, and whatnot. But even saying that, for some people, that's a hard pill to swallow. That's considered pornographic or pedophilic, because it's just basically just something that no one wants to hear. They say, "Oh, that's not right." But even to think upon a pedophilic thought, for someone to decide that, oh no, I don't want to act on that. Well, didn't you have the thought to put your weenie somewhere, or have your wee filled with something? Didn't those thoughts graphically show up in the brain? Or didn't even a thought, just regular pornography, a thought of having intercourse with the opposite sex or the same sex, didn't that enter to the brain for one to contemplate upon, maybe for an hour or two? And maybe have a fantasy with? A masturbatory postmaster's general, U.S. District Court Post Office Master Universal Postmaster General fantasy with for some time, delivered into the brain, just in order for someone to get to the point to say, well, nah, I want to blank myself out to those thoughts as much as possible. Just for the fact that you showed up. I mean, some people even have murderous and thieving and all the different type of thoughts going in, and they think about it long enough to either think to themselves, well, I don't want to do it, or I do want to do it, or halfway do it, or whatever. I'm telling you, folks, just if you even thought about it for 5 minutes, I guess you're just as guilty as the one that committed the crime, according to the quote-unquote Jesus story. So I'm here to say that we're all guilty, and there's no use getting down on the inner child. And I'm even here to go so far as to say that it's okay to have those thoughts. What's been happening is the thoughts have been gaining strength because they've been hidden in a closet. And we've been told that you can't have those thoughts from the pulpit. You can't have those thoughts society. You can't get rid of them. But the more we do that, the more human nature rises up and say, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do whatever I want anyway. I'm telling you. Nobody likes to be told what to do. Nobody. So you see the dilemma that we're in. And so I do have a nice capacity, a way of putting things to where people can start to understand and start to say, wow. I'm starting to see the point that we need to be show some love for all people. Deep stater, non-deep stater, deep throaters, and throat deepers. And to get ourselves used to all this stuff that we keep refusing to look in the mirror at and see ourselves for who we really are.